This episode of Lore Drop is sponsored by Ryan Tullis. Someday I'll have as many reinvent tattoos as you.
I heard somebody tried to like scare me into thinking they're like, yeah, this
role is cursed.
Oh, like,
yeah.
like these horrible things have happened to all these people.
No.
And they were like, no, it has not.
No.
But it was Andrew.
Yeah, I was going to say, that sounds like Andrew.
Andrew Aguilar. Hello. Welcome from the dusty town of dust. This is Lore Drop, a reinvent podcast where we sometimes complain about the dustiness of our town. I'm Abby, the executive director of Reinvent Productions.
I'm Ben, the creative and artistic director.
And our third party member today is our dear friend,
Lindsay.
Lindsay. Played Red Notice in Ordinary Heroes, which is the character that we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
She truly is one of the greatest heroes of the Ordinary Heroes process, which we will talk about later.
Yes.
But we so appreciate Lindsay for coming to play Red Notice.
I got to play a sexy lady. I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm fine.
Yes. Before we get into talking about this character, her Universe 17 versus her Ordinary Heroes persona, we must decide the most important part of the episode, which is what animated trio the three of us are. And I have decided that we are the new Gen 10 Pokemon starters. Ben is the Angry Bird.
Yeah, Brout.
I'm the dumb Fire Dog.
Pombon.
And then Lindsay is the pretty Gecko.
And Gekwa.
Yeah.
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 I am so excited about that dumb little dog.
This is a fun fact. That, so Nintendo does those, live streams to announce all their news with the Pokemon stuff and their new games. And the live stream started before my first class of the day and carried on into my first class. But it was one of those that I was like, you know what? They're going to announce a new Pokemon game today because it's the 30th anniversary. And so I don't care. I am watching this and I'm making my first period watch it with me. And so it was very sweet having my little freshman in theater one being like, why are we watching Pokemon right now? And I was like, because I want to. And you guys are actually pretty good on your work right now. So enjoy these free 15 minutes at the start of the day.
Yeah, no, seriously.
But my first reaction to the starters was like, oh, and then they grew on me pretty quick.
No, whenever I saw the dog, I was in love. That's the same way I was with when Sprigatito. That is the only grass starter I've ever used, is that dumb little weed cat from the last game. But fortunately, this is not a Pokemon podcast.
Nah.
This is a reinvent podcast where we talk about characters.
Which is good because I know what Pokemon are, and that's about it.
Nice.
Listen, you got the one with the cool eyes, and I love the. I'm so excited about this new generation of Pokemon. So, Ben, tell us about Universe 17 Red Notice.
Yeah, so Red Notice, real name Annabelle Valentine. She's a human who gained superpowers after being exposed to an experimental chemical on a high school field trip.
Whoa!
I did
Kind of
not
Peter
know that.
Parker-esque. Yep. We didn't really get into that with Ordinary Heroes, but that is the origin of her powers in Universe 17. So with that, her powers are that she can influence the emotions of individuals who she makes skin-to-skin contact with and influence their perspective towards her. And so basically making them sort of either neutral or favorable towards her, just making it like, okay, not hostile towards me, please, or more susceptible to listen to her and do what she asks of them.
Depending on their intellectual prowess, it can be easier or more difficult to influence them.
But one of the limitations she has is that she can maintain influence over no more than 3 people at a time. And so, yeah, that is the basic premise with her as a character. And of course, she was born in 1985. Continues to the present in Universe 17. Notable allies there include Fortunato, Plague Breaker, Andrew Blood, Laciel Melran, and the Deck of Thieves. And
what a great name.
Yeah. And notable adversaries include Captain Amazing, Trickshot, and Sentinel. But yeah, that's some of the basic rundown. So this is the funny thing with Red Notice, is that her appearances in Reinvent stuff is so wildly not in chronological order. So her first real world appearance was in a one shot that we ran over like a Christmas or Thanksgiving break at one point to test out the Sentinel Comics role playing game system. And so this is the Trickshot and Rondor story. This is in Universe 17 year 2032. And Red Notice is working with Fortunato to conduct a heist in Rondor. And they are stopped by Trickshot, Iron Sights, Tectona, and Queen Aurora Remington. And yeah, that was her first appearance there. But we go all the way back to some of her other timeline and her other appearances. So going back in chronological order, her first like appearance in the timeline is in 2015, which was a special one shot that we ran after we did What If the first time. And so all of the cast and played a lot of them playing D&D for the first time together. But in that instance, Red Notice was assisting Andrew Blood with trapping a group of Dustria City police officers in order to test out some court spot prototypes. And so basically they were all lured into the home of this man who was murdered. Turned out in this maze of a mansion, a bunch of them got split up. And so she was one of like the distractions for them to be like, oh, lead some of them just off the path. And the others are going to get trapped in the basement with the murder robots. And then eventually all of them get led down to the basement and Red Nose is like, cool, I did my job. See ya.
Bye.
And so that was her first timeline appearance. After that, she has some time as a villain to Captain Amazing. She's one of his like staple rogues gallery characters. So in 2016, Red Notice is then hired to steal Captain Amazing's golden armor. She sneaks into his hideout in Chicago and is caught by him, but she does use her powers to influence him before escaping with his armor as well. So he has to have a story where he goes back to his old like homemade outfit to get his like nice high quality one back again.
Yes,
And
his
so,
little hobo outfit.
Yeah, after this story
Made
though,
it himself.
yeah, Red Notice realizing as well that because Captain Amazing's armor normally covers up like all of his skin, his normal outfit, so she's like, cool, I'm just gonna like keep that one in the pocket, just gonna keep that influence over him just in case I ever need it again. And so that is sort of the origin of their interactions here. And then we see her next again in 2017. This was in the tabletop campaign that Talon Squad Trust and Turmoil, our upcoming show, is based off of. So we ran a mini campaign, or not a mini, a 2-arc campaign in that system, but in our session 0, Talon Squad was captured by the villain Death Trap and brought to his death house in Lyon, France. And Red Notice appeared at the death house because she was hired to steal some technology from Death Trap. So she showed up, did her thing, which also Death Trap has this notable weakness that he is extremely vulnerable to physical touch. So even just the little like poke just knocked him out. And so really a dream matchup for Red Notice.
Yes.
Barely any effort. And then she stole the thing and inadvertently saved Talon Squad in the process, and once again pieced right on out of there.
She's not necessarily a bad guy.
No,
she's not a good guy either, but she's truly neutral.
Yeah. And then she's going around doing, odd jobs here and there, interacting with Captain Amazing and other characters back and forth until 2024, when she becomes a member of the Deck of Thieves, which is an international organized burglary ring.
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
Yes.
And in this group, the Deck of Thieves, the concept is that this is a group of, there are 52 members at any given time, so like a deck of cards. And so the members are split into four suits, and each of them has their like ranks based off of those. So when she is made a member, inducted as the 5 of Hearts. From there, once again, we get back to the Trickshot and Rondor story in 2032. And with that as well, Red Notice and Fortunato are about to be captured by Trickshot and Aurora and company before they are rescued by a mysterious bounty hunter in black armor. And that is the last that we have seen of Red Notice in Universe 17. Like I said, a lot of like disparate appearances here and there all over the place.
This very much sounds like Marvel in and out, like somebody's backstory, all of that. And I'm sitting here and I know you can't see me, but I'm like shaking my head like, you just came, this is just in your head. And okay, I love it, but okay.
Our spreadsheets are crazy.
In my head and then put into the spreadsheet to make sure I don't forget it at some point. But yeah, that's a lot of the stuff with the Red Notice. Her inspiration is very obviously that like Catwoman, Black Cat archetype of character, the criminal who is a sort of love interest for the superhero.
The criminal femme fatale.
Yeah.
Like
But she definitely leans much more in the Black Cat area of things than Catwoman, because Catwoman in modern DC has this, she's more of a hero than a villain now, or like an anti-hero in a sense, whereas Black Cat sort of goes the anti-villain route of she's definitely not a hero, but it's one of those that's like she'll work with the good guys when it suits her needs.
Yeah. As long as there's something she gets out of it.
But yeah, that is Red Notice in Universe 17. And so from there, we jump over to Universe 1 in Ordinary Heroes. And in this one, the main difference is that in Ordinary Heroes, she is more along the Catwoman lines of being that anti-hero who ends up working with the heroes a lot more as time goes on. And she is much more of in Universe 17, there's always like with her and Captain Amazing, it's like the will they, won't they thing. And in Universe 1, it's they do.
They do.
They
do
they
very
are a couple.
quickly.
Yeah. And so, yeah, she's much more present and involved with the heroes in the story. And so her notable allies here are Captain Amazing, Dark Fog, Richard, and Circuit, and notable adversaries are Booming Boxer, Witch Doctor, and Lady Earthquake. And other than that, her powers work the same way. They don't really get into her origin all that much, but yeah.
I will say one of my favorite parts of the show every night was listening to your intro scene for two reasons. One, it was always very funny to watch Ryan Tullis basically propose to you with the power amplifiers. That was hysterical. And an example of Red Notice using her powers over someone who's not super smart and it being very easy. I do have on my quote list Lindsay saying he looks at me the way that my dog looks at me.
That was all. I loved that scene. It was all it was like really cool to like walk into the whip sound effect and like the cool music and everything. But that whole scene, I think for like the first, I couldn't even tell you how many times we ran it. It was different every time because sometimes we had like the blocking, like sometimes we had scripts and it was like, and then all of a sudden one night the power amplifier showed up. And we're like, what do we do? What do we do with this? And I'm just like holding everything. And then that's when Ryan and I kind of came up with, well, if we're going to like act like you're gonna be my slave boy, let's really do it. And then here we go. And he rocked it.
Y'all were a director's dream, truly, because it was just like one of those things that I was like, I wouldn't have come up with that. That was great. There's so many times where like actors will come up with things that I'm like, oh, thank goodness you're smarter than I am to come up with these ideas. So that was a highlight. And then the other highlight was how flustered Hayden's Captain Amazing would get with you. It was so funny every night. Like there were certain lines that he would deliver that just like I had to like cover my mouth.
You have a nice face too.
Yeah, and I was like, oh man, you fumbling the bag, man. Come on.
Yeah.
This sweet 13,000 foot tall,
approximately
voice,
like, but also extreme child. Not really a child, but compared to me, a child. And I'm like, it's okay. Let me reach up on my tiptoes and touch your face.
Hayden's a sweet boy. I did give him a hard time when watching the language archive because he was sitting on the front row, and I. Walking to my seat, I was like, who let this guy sit on the front row?
The people behind him not thrilled. I'm sure.
Thankfully we have raised seats H2C2, so it wasn't a problem, but it was just fun. I saw his and Savannah's seats on Ludus, and I was like, y'all are in the front row. That's crazy. But no, he's Hayden is a good bean. But yeah, no, that was always very fun to watch in our little monitor of just I love the idea of Superman just being like not having no riz.
It's like you can be super strong and you know what you're doing like for him like his job all that, but you throw a pretty face in and it's he's still a boy.
Still a boy. Is just a boy. But that was really fun. So I need to tell a story about how Lindsay saved the day. Lindsay was our fourth Red Notice.
I heard somebody tried to like scare me into thinking they're like, this
role is cursed.
Oh,
like these horrible things have happened to all these people.
No.
And they were like, no, it has not.
No.
But it was Andrew.
Yeah, I was going to say, that sounds like Andrew.
Andrew Aguilar.
Like very first night, like 5 minutes into me being there, he's like, "I just want. Are you fine? You're being careful,
goodness. Right? Andrew, just gonna scare people off." So no. What happened is we had our original actress for it, wonderful human being, got the opportunity to audition for a dream musical. And I was like, absolutely, please go do that. That is, I do not want to keep you from doing that. So we lost number one. And I was like, okay, it's fine. So we asked our second friend. And she's like, heck yeah, I'll do it. And then bless her heart, realized that she was a little overcommitted and didn't. Like, she apparently was scared to tell me, and I felt really bad about that. And I was like, no, I get it. It's so fine. It's okay.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, all right. So then the third one, we get the third one, and I'm like, yes, great. She came in for one rehearsal. We get that 2.1 scene blocked. I'm like, oh, this is great. This is awesome. She gets a great opportunity to go do a short film out in California that she's being paid for. And I'm like, go do that, please. Yeah. Absolutely. I cannot keep you from doing that. And I'm just like, who can I get? So I'm going through my Rolodex of Lubbock people in my head, and I'm like, Lindsay is great. Because I'd seen you do work in Much Ado. We had gotten to work like very briefly together because I did the intimacy for that show. But I think I had seen you in like some other stuff at LCT before, but like that was the first time that we really got to like work.
There was You Can't Take It With You.
Yes.
That's what it was. Yeah.
You Can't Take It With You because that's a funny little
because that was a reverse one where I hopped in 2 weeks before the show.
Yes.
Because
I knew that and I had put that together and then immediately forgot it until right this second.
And you stepped into that. That was crazy. That was
a very funny call to get from Josh Rapp in the middle of the week.
And that was when I was in Canada too. So I was up in Canada doing stage combat training for 3.5 weeks, and I
was like, my schedule's open.
I do my check-in call with Ben, and he's like, I'm gonna be in a show, and I was like, what? What do you mean you're gonna be in what show?
Yeah. And see, and like I'm sure some people in the cast knew what happened. I did not. I still don't. I just know that one day rehearsal was like completely fine. And the next day, Josh is like, I am making a call to one of my friends right now for a role and blah, blah, blah. And okay.
And then Ben
showed up. And you learned it in like a day and a half, I think.
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. I think I got the blocking because I was watching that first night and then I got the blocking the next night.
Yeah. After working with you on Much Ado, I was like, oh, Lindsay's great. Let me...
And nobody's rushing her off to California to be in a show.
Yeah, I was like, I was like, here's my last effort. I did threaten that I was like, if we have to get a 5th red notice, either James Cross or Chris Staley is going on stage in a blonde wig. I don't care.
That would have been great.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know why I thought I could get Chris Staley to do this. One, he's an equity actor, so like he wouldn't have been able to do it anyway. But I was like, if I asked him really, 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 really nicely, maybe he'd do it. But no, I was like, it's either going to be James or Chris Staley in a wig. Because I was over it. I was like, we cannot get another one. I have never had to recast a role that many times. I've had to recast a few times in the past, but it was so strange to have this particular character be the one that had that. It was just like, and literally the first week of you being in rehearsal, I was like, every time I checked my phone, I was like, she's probably going to say that she has to drop because that's just how it had been going. I was so gun shy, but, you came in, you rocked it, you were wonderful. And
it had been a very long time since I had done stage combat. So getting back into that. And like the first night I was there was like one of the first nights Justin was there.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
Okay.
I say he's so intense.
He is very intense. He's very good at what he does.
Like,
but
it was great, but now I'm going to die.
It's a crazy, crazy first rehearsal to be in. Love you, Betty. But yeah, it was so refreshing having you in the space because you were the last piece of the puzzle that made our cast complete. And we've talked about this a lot, that like this cast for Ordinary Heroes was so divinely put together. It was just a wonderful group of people that like some of us had been working together since like the first reInvent show, and then there were people from Texas Tech and there were people from our previous like LCT community, just all coming together. It was like one of those fun crossover episodes. You're like, I know you and you, but you came from different places. And it was just you brought like the last piece of beautiful energy that we needed to complete our cast. So I'm really grateful that you came in and saved the day. Our other save the day person was Matt Lamar, who came in the week before we opened due to some circumstances between him and Deacon stepping into trick shot. We have such superhero friends,
and he killed that too. Oh, he killed that.
Yeah, just very helpful to have talented friends to be able to call on in a pinch. So, talking about Red Notice being on stage, how did this compare to other things that you've done on stage? What was it like going from Shakespeare to Catwoman?
Well, y'all, so this show gave me twice in the span of 6 months. I had done 2 shows that I've never done anything like them ever before, which was first Shakespeare, which my
Really?
Lord is hard.
Yeah. That was your first Shakespeare?
That was my first Shakespeare. I'm going to say, it's bad. It's bad to say this. I don't really like Shakespeare.
That's okay.
That's okay.
No, that's okay. We are not pretentious about it. Ben used to hate Shakespeare.
I used to hate Shakespeare.
You used to be a certified hater of Shakespeare.
Like, I don't mind watching like the movies, the adaptations, all of that. Like, I get it. It's not that I don't understand it. I just never particularly cared for it. But I really wanted to do Much Ado, and I went in. I was like, I've never done a show like this. I'll get like a little background part and all that. No, I didn't. Which I'm so excited I didn't. I absolutely loved it. Hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Turn around, and then this show, which, as it was told to me, was a staged reading with a little bit of blocking. Cool. And I was like, oh yeah, absolutely. I could totally step into that. And then we get in, and it's like, oh, we're doing all this stuff. And I was like, okay, well, that's even better. Like, I like that a lot more. And we're moving and doing all of this stuff. And I'm like, okay, I've never done a superhero anything. Haven't done stage combat in forever. I had worked with been in shows with quite a few of the people that were in the cast, but with the team, the directors and stuff, I had never worked with y'all in that capacity. I have never done a show where the playwright is in the room.
Yeah.
So that was very new to me. Thoroughly enjoyed it. But yeah, y'all gave me my second completely new anything I've ever done in my life this year.
Nice.
I think it's really cool that we were able to give you an opportunity like that. I just recently cast Talon Squad Trust and Turmoil with Julia, and that's another one that there have been a few people that have like reached out and said like, oh, this is like one of the bigger parts of you're going to have, or like, this is my first time I get to do stage combat, or like whatever. And I'm just like, oh, I love being able to like give that to people. Ben and I have like a track record for accidentally giving people their like first leads or something. That happened when we were in Leavenworth, that we were just cast people.
It was just not intentional. It was just like, no, yeah.
But I think that like that's now kind of shaped my philosophy as a director, that I'm like, okay, especially once I get to know people and being like, okay, I know like what your type usually is, and a lot of the times I will like go out of my way to cast people differently. Specifically, let's take Noah Aguilar. Noah Aguilar, fantastic actor, often gets cast as gross, yucky roles or bad guy roles that they kill. They're wonderful in it. But I purposefully was like, I don't want Noah to play a jerk, slimy guy in Trust and Turmoil. So they are playing Rupert, which is a wonderful character, and we won't spoil stuff, but he plays a sweet bean character, and I'm very, very excited for them to do that. Because again, they're great at bad guy roles, but I was like,
but it's fun to do different things too.
Yes. Yes. And that's what we got to do for Andrew Aguilar in the next show, is make him a jerk, because we keep casting him as sweet bean characters, and we need to make him
that's just him in real life, though.
I know. Unless you really know him, then you know that he's a bully. Anyway, let's just leave it at that. So as an actor that you've done several types of shows before, what was like some of the challenges of like doing a role like this?
I would say, well, I've never done, this is my first time being of any sort of like sexy love interest, anything like that. I do not, like, personally, Lindsay does not find that easy to do. Like I am, when you're talking about a black cat, I am personally like a black cat, but not sexy. Like I want to be not touched unless I say it's okay, and then immediately stop the second. And so, so to like be a character that's like initiating, whether it's for her powers or for attention or whatever it is, to initiate like touch, really weird. But also just, and I think it's you know how some days you're just, as a person, you walk in to the space and you're like, I'm not feeling like great in my body, or I didn't have like, I'm not having the best emotional day. And like, the more you're in theater and you work and all that, you get over it and you get it in your character and you move on. But for roles like this, I found when I was having days like that, it was harder to get into her and play her as she should be played, just because it doesn't come that easy for me. So that was like a challenge, for me anyway.
I think you rocked it with taking on the role, especially one that you came into the process like we were like halfway through the process, roughly.
Yeah.
I honestly kind of loved that.
Yeah.
There is like, I come from a background of directing, and like, because I taught middle school and high school, and so I did a lot of directing in that area. And then now that I have a different day job, now I really like do more acting, and I love the research part of things. I don't mind table work. There is a point where I get very bored and I'm like, please, let's get up on our feet and let's do this. So the fact that I got to get into is like, y'all are going. Oh, we're just going. Loved it. Loved it.
Yeah. And we have been meeting so many people over this past year that are just like so great at just diving headfirst into things, which is great because I ask people to do hard things often. Like this one will come out, we'll be in the thick of rehearsals for Talon Squad. And I mean, my goal is to have the show blocked within the first 2 weeks of rehearsal. That's Stan's fights. Fights will come afterwards, but like everything, there are 5 big fight scenes in that show. So I'm like, okay, I want to, within the first 2 weeks of rehearsal, I would like us to get everything, the basic blocking done. So that way we have time to like really dive into it. And then also have time to like really work on the fights and all that jazz. And that's going to be hard. So we will see if anybody's listening to this who is in that show. And by this point, we will be a week and a half into blocking, so
yay, it's done.
Yeah,
it's almost done. Yeah, it should be almost done by this point. But I'm very thrilled with the cast that we have for that show. So I know that everybody will rise to the occasion. But it is fun working with actresses like you, Lindsay, who like are just game to just go and dive and take the risks and just go for it.
Like, if somebody doesn't like it, they're going to tell you. Listen, change it, and you okay.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of the fun thing with acting. As long as you're working with directors that aren't jerks, it's like you can do whatever you want. And the worst thing that can be is just like, maybe let's change direction with that. The thing is, I let people get away with a lot of stuff. If you saw this performance, I kind of just told Emma to just run with it, and I was like, I'll pull you back, and I never did. So but it's fun getting to push people, and then people get to be their best selves, and that's really fun to see.
I have a question, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So this goes back to the beginning when you were talking about how Red Notice like is a black cat, and she in the universe 17, I think you said, she really kind of did more with the villains and things like that.
Yeah.
So this may be something you've talked about before, and if it is, I'm sorry. But in this world, the world of this show, what made you want her to be more on the side of the good guys?
To me, the big driving force of even putting Red Notice in the show was Wendell's interactions with Alex, because it's like, this is just in general, and this is a thing that is always like a pet peeve of mine, because growing up and even like it really didn't like change until kind of recently. But like I have always had more friends that were girls than friends that were boys. And that's just like the thing. But I would get so mad when people would just assume, like I still get really like annoyed. Like a student tried to ask me the other day, do you think boys and girls can just be friends? And I was like, yeah. End of story. Yeah. But so it was a thing that I knew going into it, because I was like, no, there's no romantic thing with Wendell and Alex. But I know someone's going to be like, but they got to be something, right? So I was like, okay, I do think that throwing in the concept of like his writing maturing and that romance is a good way to show that still. And so trying to decide what character that would fall under, it was really between Sneak and Captain Amazing. And I was like, okay, well, Captain Amazing's one that I already do have a sort of like love interest type character in the bank for this one. And as well, part of it was like Red Notice is a really easy character to put on stage, all things considered. And so that was a big deciding factor too. But I still liked, and especially once the show started like going and seeing and everything and like getting the full table reads and everything, all of the jokes that were really just landing in that scene, like in the dialogue between Red Notice and Captain Amazing, in the scene with Wendell and Alex, and in the roundup after the issue as well. Like all the jokes were really landing, and I think it gave the audience that fix of like, yes, young love. Even though it's not between the two real world people, they still get a sense of that, right? And there was a little bit of a reference too with like the characters poking fun at it of like, yeah, this is people treat teenagers this way, of they just like, give them grief for having a crush or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's and I don't think it's a good thing about growing up, but it is a thing that, most people have a sort of connection and experience with. And so, I have very specific like takes and opinions on this.
Well, and I think it's also interesting to look at it because this is something that I still deal with in my adult life, as a woman with ADHD. That I didn't get diagnosed until I was 23. Mm-hmm. But like going through therapy and like figuring out like how to treat the ADHD that I didn't realize I had. One thing I realized about myself is that like one of my hyperfixations was people. Mm-hmm. And like I would get really hyper focused on like friendships with people. And especially with like, and I was the kind of person that usually had guy friends more than girlfriends. I really didn't get a solid group of girlfriends until we moved to Lubbock. Or after I graduated from Lubbock, shout out to the Gills. But when I was a teenager, I was like aware of it and was like worried that people thought I was boy crazy. And like I think I was like, oh, I have crushes on so many people. And like when I learned about the concept of squishes, which are like friend crushes, it's a platonic crush on a person. It's like you want to be friends with that person so badly. That like completely changed my life. And I was like, oh, I wasn't a hoe. Like I wasn't not like, I mean, like I wasn't necessarily like boy crazy. I would just get very hyper focused on friendships. And that has been something as an adult, like I still am that way. Like I will, if I get new people in my life, especially if like we share same interests, like that's how Justin and I got super tight, was that we two ADHD extroverted individuals who like stage combat bonded very quickly over that. But I think it's helpful to acknowledge that like friend hyperfixations that could be considered crushes, that like that's just kind of like what happens as people. And it doesn't always have to be a romantic thing. Like sometimes it can just be like you're really excited about having a new friend, and that platonic bond is still really important and valuable. And you can get a lot out of those relationships that don't necessarily end up being romantic. But I definitely did direct Sam and Sierra to have it be that Wendell definitely did have like a little bit of a crush on Alex, at least at the beginning. And then it became more like they were buddies when they parted ways. And that's all it was.
Yeah. But to answer the question, it came from that changing her like role in the story came from that wants to like still showcase. And it was a little bit of a challenge to myself because I had never tried writing anything even remotely close to a romantic relationship before. And so even then, it's like it's little like snapshots of it, right? And there's still like
I remember helping you edit some of those, being like, let's just
yeah. It was you and Ella really helps a lot with reshaping a lot of Red Notice's dialogue. So shout out to you two.
yeah.
Nice job.
Yeah, no, it's because I'm a sucker for writing romantic scenes. Like if you see the last couple books I've been reading, I've very gotten into the romantasy vibes.
Who hasn't? Life is scary, and I need to read about that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like I'm in the middle of this trilogy. It's the Powerless trilogy, and it's like Hunger Games, fantasy, every single stinking trope you can think of, enemies to lovers thing. Like it's all there, and it just makes my brain happy. It's able to turn off the world and be like, this is what's happening. But it is fun. I like writing the will they won't they banter and all that jazz. I've definitely kind of helped add some more romantic things within Reinvent. It's been pretty fun.
Yeah.
So Lindsay, after playing a super character, would you ever do something like this again?
Absolutely. I said I really want to be a villain. I've
Nice.
never been a villain, and they have such good stories, and they have this best line. But yes, I would do this again.
Perfect. I've got another one to add to the list of people who
Nice,
want to play
nice.
bad guys. There's so many people that are like,
It's
I want to
fun.
play a villain. I want to play a villain. I'm like,
Because we don't get to do. I mean, I guess some people do. That I'm not saying anything else. But most of us in real life, are pretty nice, and it's everything.
Yes.
And yes, I would play a hero again in a heartbeat. But sometimes you just want to be a little mean and have it be okay.
oh,
Well,
yes.
and there's a special kind of fun with playing like the villain or antagonist of like you get the opportunity to make the audience feel such visceral emotions in the safety of the theater. Instead of reacting to real people that way. That was the delightful thing with Antelope Party.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Ben and Antelope Party started because that play is about bronies.
I was like, I saw that. It's the one I was gonna say, Brony or My Little Pony. Yes,
So
yes,
he was the Pinkie Pie one.
Yep.
And
that turned. Oh, I hated
Yeah.
you at the end.
Yeah.
Terrible.
But wasn't he
Yeah.
just such a sweet little guy at the beginning?
Yes, and you see how like society corrupts and blah blah and all of this stuff. And at the end, I was like, I don't even care that he used
You're
to be
the
nice.
worst.
I don't even care.
Yeah. No,
And
exactly.
somehow you were it's like you were the best, and now you're the worst.
Yeah. That's a fun.
You did it. You did it. Good job.
Yeah, it's a fun challenge.
Maybe just in one of our Reinvent seasons, we just need to have like a show that is all villains. Or it could be a spotlight. One of our spotlight
That's crazy.
spotlights could just be like a bunch of villain stories.
Yeah. I mean, we've got like the next couple of things we've got to have some pretty good villain antagonist roles.
This is true.
Like something wicked's gotta whoever's playing one of those characters is gonna have a blast and the audience is going to hate them.
George O'Blair. So our something wicked is won't get too spoiler into it. But it is an adaptation of Macbeth. Definitely will be leaning into the play within a play genre, but also the horror genre. Macbeth itself is already a pretty horror coded play, but this one we will be leaning way more into that, and I'm really excited to see what's going on with that. It's something that Ben and James have written the first draft of it, but I have a feeling that this next draft that James is going with, I think that it's just going to be a
I've
completely
told
different
James
script.
to run with the wind. Yeah. I was like, nah, man, you're the horror guy between the two of us. Go for it.
Yeah, and he has more time on his hands than
Yes.
you do right now.
Yes, he does.
But yeah, maybe this will be a Shakespeare that you would like.
Yes, I'm sure. And that's going to come back to bite me. I don't hate Shakespeare. It's just reading him is difficult, and I don't care for it. But I loved being in it, and I loved that was it was a great show.
Well, and I also think it depends on how you're doing the Shakespeare. Like that is the thing. There was one time last year that I was working with with some of the kids at Friendship High School on their Romeo and Juliet, and depending on what kind of director you have, it can be either the worst thing or the best thing. The director at the time was not explaining to the kids the words that they were saying, and like the Romeo and Tybalt were brothers, the Tybalt and Mercutio were brothers. And one of the boys, like, they say that they kept the King of Cats line in there. And I was like, and they were just like kind of like not like the way that they were saying it was so unmotivated. And I was like, guys, do you know what this line means? And like I was like kind of danced around it. And when you saw the light bulb of realization as to what King of Cats means, it was truly astounding. And they loved that scene a lot more after that. When you're able to call your brother a bad word with under the guise of Shakespeare, it really does. It just depends on the director, and that is where table work comes into play, where it can be helpful to be like, okay, what are we actually saying, and what are we implying? Before we wrap up, Lindsay, is there any thing or anyone you want to give a shout out to?
I just want to shout out reInvent and all the awesome new programs and projects and shows and everything that they have coming up, and everybody that's doing stuff in Lubbock. All of the art and things that's going on right now. It's pretty fantastic.
It is really cool. There's a lot of we're in a wonderful little renaissance in Lubbock, Texas right now of art going on, and it's pretty exciting to be a part of.
Yeah.
Our next episode is going to be with our friend Rod, who played Sheriff Skull. We're going to talk about the Universe 17 counterpart to this character, which is actually General Skull. So that'll be a fun compare and contrast to do. So be on the lookout for the next episode with Rod.
And remember, being fantastic starts with being a fan.
Good job. Sweet.
reInvent Productions is proudly sponsored by 5 Points Corporation Lubbock and Savannah Rashida Photography, as well as our other wonderful community patrons. Our home base in Lubbock is Hollingsworth Hall Cultural Center at 4228 Boston Avenue. For more information on how to support our 501c3 organization, you can check out our website at www.reinvent-productions.com. To directly support our upcoming audio drama, you can become a Lore Drop sponsor. For just $10, you can sponsor an episode of this podcast. All donations will go towards support for our upcoming production of Children of Destiny Cataclysm Season 1, which will begin releasing episodes June 22nd, 2026. Funds will go towards paying our wonderful voice actors and creative staff for their fantastic talent and time. We have over 30 artists globally working on this production, and we can't wait for you to hear it this summer. You can donate at givebutter.com/Lore Drop sponsor. You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok at reinvent.productions, as well as on Facebook and Twitch, where we stream gaming and a look behind the scenes on how we create our new works. Be sure to follow us to stay in the loop about upcoming productions, auditions, and more. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you in the next episode of Lore Drop.